Okay, good morning. As I said, we're going to start now with our STAT 395 modules. This is just an absolute overview of what you can expect and what we want from you in this module. And this module, STAT 395, called Applied Probability Models, runs on both Westville and Pietermaritzburg campuses, but obviously this is just the Westville campus. Though the papers have a lot of overlap, the two offerings of STAT 395, you will not have an identical paper to what is on the Pietermaritzburg campus. So there's a lot of overlap, but a slightly different emphasis. So this is a team teaching effort. With other words, I'm not going to be your only teacher. There I am. I'm Professor North. I'm the Dean and the head of the School of Mathematics, Statistics and Computer Science. I don't know if you know how it works. Every school has got a dean. There are 5 schools in the colleges. Every school has got a head, a dean, and then under them sits an academic leader, which is the head of that discipline. So we have a head of statistics, Professor Ramroop, he sits on Maritzburg, a head of mathematics, and that's Professor Dr. Paran Pillay, and we have a head of computer science. You might have heard of Professor Celestina Variri, and so on. So that is the system. We have academic leaders. I'm the dean. Because of that, I'm extremely busy, and there will be times when maybe I have a meeting, but I'm not the only lecturer. We also have Professor Zewatar. I don't know if they've met Prof. Zewatar. I can just tell you are extremely fortunate in this module to really have a top person. You put here, I said, most senior statistician, Professor Zewatar. Senior, not in age, I'm older than him, clearly. But Professor Zewatar is by far our best applied statistician. He's top in research, and you're really fortunate. He doesn't normally teach undergrad, but we've decided to make this module this year a special module and to put big names on it. But Prof. Zewatar, really, you will love his lectures. He's going to be teaching you as well. I will teach you the part called sample survey. And in the past, that was the only part. But now there's Bayesian and non-parametric models, which Professor Zewatar will be teaching you. So that basically is your teaching team, except I'm not finished. We've got with us another person that's teaching you, and she will be taking the practical land sessions. And I think by now you've met Ms. Nombuso Zondo. We're very proud of Nombuso. She's an outstanding undergrad statistics student that I noticed when she was in 3rd year. I taught her many years ago in 3rd year, and I saw that she was not only good, because being book smart, with other words, doing well in the exam, is a very small part of being a success in life. You need to be confident, you need to be able to apply yourself, to work consistently, and to have high standards in your life. And we saw all that in Nombuso, even when she was 3rd year, and today she's our PhD student, very able PhD student, and she's a full-time statistics lecturer. This can be you in a few years' time, so please do impress us, work hard, and who knows, you'll be standing where Nombuso is in a few years' time, or where I am in a few more years' time. So, the first thing to know, the Moodle site. We have a new 2019 Moodle site. By the way, this exact PowerPoint presentation I will put onto Moodle. I already have, and I'll be putting some of the videos that I taught most probably as well. But I've made you a little summary of your the lecturers in this course. I've mentioned myself, Prof. Zewatar and Nombuso, and these are our email addresses. If you ever want to speak to us, all you have to do, consult. We'll have consulting times, but at any time you can email. That's the preferred time, and say, I'd like to see you. And then I've got a phone number of our administrator, and somehow I didn't put her name. It's Mrs. Aleshni Pillay, and she is on the 1st floor of Oliver Tambo, actually at the moment on the bottom floor. So you can speak to Aleshni as well if you can't get hold of us, if you're desperate. But that really is the main people you need to contact if you have anything to do with the practical sessions would be Nombuso, there's your email, or Aleshni. The timetable, you have it here. Unfortunately, I've got a problem getting into L24. There's steps down and I can't go in the wheelchair and I can't jump without a thing on the side. So for the next 4 weeks, I've got 6 weeks in total. I've done 2 weeks already before I'm allowed to walk. Unfortunately, our lecture rooms will change. I will give you the others just now. I'll write it up for you. So for the next few weeks, we will be using this room every Tuesday. Okay, just for you to note, I can write it out just now. I've got it here. J5 will be Tuesday's venue. I will put it on Moodle as well. On a Thursday, you'll go to J24. On a Friday, actually no, the Thursday stays as it is. You use J24 or the Creamland. This week it's Creamland. Creamland this week, we'll tell you. Sorry? Blueland. This week, so it'll be H1 lands. Unless I tell you in lectures, we've reserved also J24, which is just a bit further around the corner. And then on a Friday, always it's Creamland for the lecture. Make a note, Friday lectures always Creamland because they have no room available. But on a Monday, you've got to go to L9. It'll be on Moodle, and I can email it to all of you off Moodle as well, so let's relax about that. So it won't be L24 as it is in the timetable, just for the next 4 weeks when I'm teaching you. Okay, what I want you to say now, these are a few quick thoughts, change in emphasis. In the past, and I can tell you I'm a master of theory. I did my PhD in highly theoretical Hilbert space statistics. That is not what we want to teach you anymore because there aren't jobs out there for people like that other than if you want to teach more people to be very theoretical. So we've changed our focus right from first year. We're changing the way we teach statistics. So what we want to do in this module is to make sure we focus more on concepts and on helping you to think deeply about statistics to solve real world problems. So it's not just can you remember the theorem, and please understand I'm not saying no more theory. You're still going to know theory because or else we can just take people from school and give them a PhD. You need to have a good, solid understanding of the basic concepts in theory, but it doesn't mean that that's going to be all we're teaching you. We're going to, in this course in particular, in sample survey, normally I do very long theorems. The one took more than 2 lectures. That one I'm just giving you the result and making sure you understand where the result comes from. So we'll talk a lot about the theory, but there won't be as many long theoretical proofs in this module. So really what we want to do is to warn you that you mustn't base what you learn for the exam by looking at the papers 2 years ago or last year. Say, oh, they asked that often, that's theorem I'm going to learn. You will fail if you do that. A lot of students think learning for the whole object of coming to university is to pass the exam. Learn the previous papers and see which ones often come up, and that's enough. Then when you go into industry and business, you look like a fool because they're not going to give you an old exam paper. You can do nothing. You just know how to do a few proofs. Okay? And I know that's how a lot of people with good memories have passed. That's not what we want you to do. What you need to do, and this is really important, class discussions are an essential part of mastering this module. If you don't come to class, I have a lot of class discussions and I do random checking. You have to come to class, okay? You'll see in the handbook it says 30% attendance. I'm going to take some attendance, and not every time, randomly. And if you're not here for 30% of the ones I took, you will not get a DP, I promise you. You have to come to class because discussions are so important, and I'll do a lot of that. It's essential to come to class and tutorials, obviously. So I know I've taught for a heck of a long time at university. What happens is students say, I've got a test in mathematics. I learn off by heart. I can't learn last night and still remember in the afternoon. I'm going to leave all my lectures in the morning and cram. That's what students do. Not a good idea. Always. I'm not just talking about this module. If you don't know how to learn long before and refresh your mind the night before, and you start missing all your classes when you got a test in something else, even don't miss another class if you got a test for me. It's not a good thing. You must organize your life and you mustn't miss classes. So please don't do that. The content and delivery, it's up on the overhead. I don't really want to go through that, but basically it's on the board, and you'll learn how to sample, and you'll learn a lot more than that, by the way, than what it says. So the lectures are 45 minutes long. You all know that. And what I want to highlight here, so Each week is a 3-session long tutorial. You all know that. It's either an L24 in the cream or blue land. Tutorial tests, at some time I'm going to give you a test, but strategic times with no prior notification. What does that mean? If I give you a test, I don't have to tell you 3 weeks before you got a TUT test tomorrow. You just come and I'll ask you 2 or 3 questions and you're going to hand them in at any time. If you miss those, you get 0. So come to TUTs, come to tests. I'm not doing it because I'm mean. I'm doing it because I know you're not going to be any success in business one day if you don't have these discussions and if you don't come to tutorials. Even the pracs that Ms. Zondo's put on, if you haven't been coming to them, you're crazy. You've paid for it as part of your course. So some people think coming to a TUT means sign the register. If you sign, you're actually saying, I've done it, I understand it. So don't shortchange yourself. There's a textbook. The main one that I use is, there's some extra ones, but the main one is law. Law has got a copyright, and the book is quite expensive. I don't want you to buy it. I've got permission to put 1 chapter at a time up. So I put up chapter 1 on Moodle. When I put chapter 2, I'll close chapter 1. Okay? So you've got a time not to write out chapter 1. You can download it. I just can't leave it up. So when I tell you, keep looking at Moodle, if you see chapter 1 of law in text, electronically is up, quickly download it and save it. Okay, on your flash drive, on your computer. So you've got it. So when I put chapter 2 up, you've still got chapter 1. Because I can't put them up. I'm not allowed to put more than 1 up at the same time because I'm not buying electronic access. So it's up to you to be responsible or else to get it from your friends. Then the DP certificate, it says in the book or in the handbook, 30% class mark, 80% tutorial, practical, final mark is 30%, 70%. So really what it's saying, you're used to this kind of thing. What it's saying, I've made a little diagram. You're going to get a year mark. It has to be over 50 to pass. That year mark is 70% or 0.7 times your exam mark and 0.3 your class mark. Your class mark is made up of what? Test 1, test 2, and lots of assignments, TUT tests, whatever I want to give you. These are the little things I do in class. But the tests, these 2 big tests will count the most because these things often you can just cheat if it's a little assignment, your friend helps you, I don't know, but I don't want it to count nothing. So the TUT test assignments will count very little, but they will count. So please take everything we do in this module seriously, get as much out of it. All of you are right up to date now because I've done nothing. Try and stay like this. It's a nice feeling. It's not nice to come to class when you don't know what's cutting. Okay, supplementary exam. You have 2 sessions. You know, you third year students. You can write in the first session or the second session. If you write the first session and you get 45%, you can get a sub. If you get 48 in the second session, you fail. There's no sub. So please don't make the mistake. A lot of people do. They go and write the second session because they've got exams near each other. And then they get a sub, but they can't write it. They get in the 40s and they just fail. It's sad. Be very strategic. Don't too quickly cancel and write in the second session. I'm just warning you. You've got to use barcodes. If you don't have barcodes, get them for your test with your name. You know the registration barcodes. Then the test dates I've given. But I've put there subject to change because we've got delayed start. I've got to wait and see how it's going to go, how much we can get done, whether we really are having the first test on 14 March. That's quite close. Most probably we're going to change it. And I'll tell you as soon as we've had a few lectures. Very important, in all my courses, even from when I taught first year 20 years ago, I have no makeup test. If you're genuinely sick, and I know somebody will get genuinely like me. I mean, I'm genuinely couldn't have written a test now if I had a test, if I was a student when I was in hospital. So there'll be no makeup test. What do I mean by that? What I mean is you write test 1 and you really did have flu. You're not lying because you got another test tomorrow. You just can't write. You're sick. You bring me the doctor's letter, then I will let you write an oral. After test 2, I write test 1. Some people don't write. You write test 2. Again, other people maybe have a story. At the end of test 2, I have 1 oral session for anybody that missed the test, where you will do an oral test. With other words, it doesn't really mean you stand up. You and I sit next to each other at a table, and I give you an oral test. So missing a test means individually tested sitting down at a table. Okay, and it comes at the end of the course. So I'm just telling you up front, if you're sick for a test, bring your doctor's letter, and you will, at the end of the course, have a test. But the test is not on half the work, it's on both when you're busy revising for exam. Doing that over the years, I've found that I have very few sick notes, and the people that write the test actually do very well. Because you know what I do? I look at what you got in the other test, and then I ask questions and say, okay, maybe you should get around that. And then I just explore. It's a very good way of testing to do oral. So if you want to miss a test and you're not sick, it's not a good plan because it's easier to write it. So you must learn well ahead of time. Load shedding is not an excuse. I can't write the test, I had load shedding. There's so many of you. You don't all live in the same place. Some people live here, some people live there. Maybe there's load shedding there. Then I put the test out. Next week there's load shedding there, and then it's a problem. So learn well ahead because you know load shedding is a problem. Consulting times, we're going to give you consulting times. There are emails again. Come in if you stat 395. Are you stat 395? No. Okay. Notices, I'll put the notices on Noodle, but the most important thing is just to come to class. I will keep talking in class. Speak to your class rep. This is where it's important now to talk about a class rep. I believe you do have a class rep, somebody that's offered to be class rep or that's been elected. Is there? Thank you very much. Your name is Sadia. Is there anybody else that feels they didn't have a chance and they want to be class rep? Okay, Sadia, it looks like you don't, when you're my class rep, you'll be doing important things. What I do, for example, I give you tutorial solutions afterwards, and people can come to you for them. So it's a very nice, I don't advertise this beforehand because then the wrong people want to be class rep for the wrong reasons. But if there's anything to be handed out or there's one copy and you can have a look at it, she's the keeper of it. So also, if I'm ever not able to come, the only one that can cancel a lecture is Mrs. Pillay, myself, Prof. Zewata, or Nambuso, or else Sadia. I've got your cell number, I'll give you mine. You and I can be in contact as well. So only Sadia out of the students in this class, if she says the class is off, it's off. Student unrest, whatever. And while I'm talking of student unrest, I was really obviously very sad that we lost the first week. But in future, should we lose any time, I will immediately make a video at home, wherever I am or in the office, and put the teaching on Moodle. So there will be class in the normal periods pasted on Moodle, because we can do that, and then you can just follow from there. So we'll be trying that out. I think it should work quite well. Then I have something to talk about, dishonesty. Dishonesty over, as I said, I've been teaching for many years. You don't know how long, well over 30 years. I have learned that there unfortunately are some people that are really good at writing out on their hands or under their shoes. I mean, you've got no clue what I've seen over the years. And it's not a good thing to do, but some people plot and they have their little plans. So what do I do about it? Because I've had various leadership positions, I went to the proctor, the university's lawyer, and I said, what can we do that is good for the students, but it's legally correct, but I want to know, because I don't want students ever to pass my course dishonestly, because you're not cheating the university, you're cheating yourself. Because you don't have knowledge, you pretend you have, and you're going to fail in the next year in any case. So I don't want people to do that. So how can I stop it? And this is what I've made a little diagram for you. This is the procedure for continuous assessment dishonesty. You should have a Y there. Continuous assessment, this is not in the exam. This is only for tests and this is only for tests and for assignments. We don't want cheaters in this course. So the first question I ask you, is the thing that you're doing less than 20, the test in which the cheating took place? Say somebody's been caught cheating. And by the way, just last year I caught somebody. If less than 25% of the final mark, let's say there are 2 tests, what did I say? It counts 30%. So each test maximum will be 15% of the final mark. So if you cheat in a test, yes, it's true. It's less than 25% of the final mark. If you cheat in the exam, that's not true. So this wouldn't hold because that's 70%. So if it's less than 24, if it's less than 25, if it's not, so with other words, it's like you cheated in the exam. What happens? You go to the proctor, that's the university lawyer, and you can be excluded. You have a court case. And if you're guilty, you get excluded. Okay? If it's yes, you cheated in the test, it's 15 or 12% of the final mark, what happens? They say, have you ever been dishonest before? No, this is my first time ever in my life. That's what everybody says. Then what happens? You've got to sign admission of guilt. There's a little form. I admit that I cheated. If you say I don't admit, then you go straight to the proctor. You get 0 for the test. That's true. And you go on the register of cheaters. What does that mean? And I can tell you, I had a student on the register of cheaters exactly because he cheated very badly in a test. What it means is whenever he writes a test in another subject and he gets caught like this, have you cheated before? Okay, is the test less than 25%? Yeah, it's a small test. Have you been dishonest before? If you're on the register of cheaters, you don't go to the no, you go to yes. And what happens then? You go straight to the proctor. So you get 1 chance in your life to cheat in something small. You get 0 for that test if you're caught, and you're now on the register of cheaters. When you write your exam, they actually have a list of people to watch. You don't want to be on that list. Please, people, I'm sure you're all honest, but I thought I'd just make sure that we all know where we stand. So I want you to, now that I've painted that negative picture, to appreciate where you are. You're sitting in 3rd year statistics, right? And I made this little diagram 2 years ago for my students to show them. If these were all the students that we took into Stats 130 and that year I counted how many were in Stats 130, every dot is a person. All these colors were 1st year students. Only the red guys went to 2nd year. Now, it's not because everybody failed. Some people say, I want to do geography. I came to do 1 module of statistics. I get it. A lot of people don't intend being statisticians, but you guys are on 3rd year and you do intend. So these guys went to 2nd year. Some failed. Some just ran away because they weren't as good as you at stats. So you're 3rd year. And then we had the blue guys. And that's you guys. You're now the blue ones. So you were part of this big block, and you're now one of these few left. Can you see how fortunate you are? And you might say that's true in biology, and it's true in history. In every course, there are fewer people in 3rd year than 1st year. Not in every course is there such amazing job opportunities as you guys have. Everybody would want to swap places with you, by the way. You go and speak to somebody in almost any other science or any other arts course, 3rd year. They would rather be in your course if they knew what you know. Because there's so many wonderful opportunities. And you don't get there by sleeping. You get there by working hard. So really, all I want to say, the secret to success, you've got to work really hard, and you've got to keep working hard, and you've got to work consistently. And if you do that, you will be successful. But the most important advice I can give you, and I've learned a lot over the years, opportunities come your way. If an opportunity comes, grab it and work hard. This is an opportunity at the beginning of 3rd year. I'm not just talking for this module. I'm talking for Dr. Shivarira's module. Work hard. Work hard. Get into honors. The students cry at the end of 3rd year when we don't take them because they've seen within the 3rd year how different. 2nd year is just theory. Horrible. Stat 240, I know it. It's not a good course to do. This is going to be different, and you'll all want to do honors, I can promise you. So I'm here to tell you a little bit more about South African Statistics Association. I chaired the National Education Committee for South African Stats for 17 and a half years. So I've been very involved with this. It's the whole South Africa's Statistics Association. And sitting right here in this room is Ms. Zondo, who's now on the South African Stats Association Education Committee. There are only about 7 people. She's on the National Committee. Because at a young age, she realized, get an opportunity. I nominated her. It's a lot of work. And she said, yes, thank you. So she's putting herself out there, and she's now going to mix with the top people in stats education. That's how you get ahead. When an opportunity comes, even if it's work, you say yes and you work hard, and then you'll get more opportunities. So what can I tell you about South African stats that students need to know? First thing you must know, we run lots and lots of competitions. And you'll see here, put a little arrow, there's a third-year competition. Can you see there? Marked and financial need, it says. Scholarship 1 and 2 bursaries. And it's sponsored by SAS. You'll hear a lot more about SAS this year. SASA, which is South African Stats Association, and ICSA. You've got to, closing date is December, end of this year. You know what they base it on mainly? Your marks. So if you work hard, you can maybe get a bursary from South African Stats. We will tell you in about September, you must apply. And then you've got to apply. And you'll see there it says need. What that is, if anybody has got financial need, irrespective of color, it doesn't matter. It's not only for a particular race or a particular gender. Anybody that's got a story just writes up and they get it signed off by their doctor or their minister at the church. This is what happened to my family, and there are a lot of people that have financial need. Then they don't say who's got the most need, let's give them the most money. They say everybody with need goes into one group, and then they say out of those people who got the best marks. So it's not just about need, by the way. You've got to have need and be smart. But there's also one that's just on best marks in the country for stats third year. And we have, this university has often won the prize for the student with the best marks, and that's not for need. So I normally tell students, tick the need box and the normal, tell your story and see whether you can apply. You can apply for both, by the way. But for both of those, even if you have need, you still have to have good marks. So please work hard. I'm telling you early, so that by the end of the year, when your marks come, you don't say, oh, I wish I'd worked harder, I could have got that bursary. Because Nombusa and I are both on that committee. It's the one I used to chair. And I can tell you what the problem is. How big is this university? How many people in third year stats have need? Do you know, I mean, need just means that my family can't easily pay for me. So if you have NSFAS, you automatically are there. And even if you don't have NSFAS, you also can apply if your family has need. What I find is every year, imagine this university, how many people have need in third year. Take University Zululand, add them, Venda University, Limpopo, Transkei, even Pretoria, every university in South Africa, how many people have need? Must I tell you how many people applied last year? Nombusa, how many? About 4. Can you believe it? In this whole South Africa, only 4 people applied for this bursary. And we give like 3 prizes. I mean, it's crazy. So I don't want any of you not to apply. Please, it's not just for need, it's for need as well as base marks. So they have 2 groups, the people with need and the people not with need. But we'll make it clear. Both, if you're in the need group or the not need group, they look at who's got the highest marks to give the bursaries. So work hard and please try and get bursaries. Also, you must go onto the website, South African Stats Association. I'll put it's there, the name. The website I don't have there, but you can easily find it. Just be careful. SASA is also South African Sugar Association, but I'm sure you'll know the difference. And membership is quite expensive. People say, I don't really think it is. It's about 300 Rand a year, free to students. You don't have to pay to be a member, and you can get the newsletter where they tell you stuff. So you can just go online, apply to be a student, and so on. And what's also important at the bottom here, job opportunity button. There's a button on the SASA website where it just advertises jobs for statisticians. I'm not saying you must go for a job, because, by the way, I'd be sad if you don't do honors. You should always try and do honors at least before you go into the business place. A student just with a degree and a student with a degree in honors, it's a big difference. It's huge. You learn more in that honors year in the previous 3 years. So if you can, always do honors. That should be your aim. So really what I want to say, you're now at a crossroads of your future. We're your teaching team. We will do what we can to help you along the way to have a good future. We'll guide you, we'll show you the way, but in the end, it's all up to you, by the way. You're never going to get anywhere if you don't work hard. Because if you think about it, if it's easy, everybody will do it and it'll have no value. What you're doing is very hard. I know it's hard. Stats 3 is hard. But I can tell you it's much more pleasant than Stats 2. If you didn't die on Stats 2 and you managed to get here, I can tell you it'll be much more pleasant. So sorry about all the scary things about cheaters and so on. I'm serious about that though. No cheating, work hard, and you'll be successful. Okay, we'll have a little break. I need a break. And then we'll do the next one.